Now we have the capacity to see Jesus again after 2,000 years. In the very near future, you will see Jesus. I promise you, I'm not an evangelist. I'm not asking you to believe him or to, give him your $5 or $10 or $50. Put your hand on the $5, $10. No, I'm not asking you to do that. But I'm just suggesting to you, believe it or not, but you don't have to believe it. But you will see Jesus, now a master, no longer, gentle Jesus, meek and mild. He's a master. He is a man of extraordinary, what shall I call it, capacity to love, to serve, wise as the hills, beautiful in every atom of his being, who is now living in the world. He's living as near to you as Rome. Anybody going to Rome this year on vacation? Nobody going to Rome? Not that you would see him, I hasten to add. I've got his address here, but I'm not going to give it to you. No, I cannot. I mean, there's no way I could do that. But this great being, Jesus, who introduced so many extraordinary, marvelous ideas to the world 2,000 years ago, is one of these masters who are now coming back into the everyday world. And in a very short time, you will see Jesus as he is today, as a master of wisdom, one of that group who are returning to the world. Jesus, like all the other masters, has never left the world. He's not sitting up on the right hand of God up in heaven, as the Christian groups would have you believe. He's busy every single moment of the day, working, not sitting, working, jogging. No, he's not jogging. But he could be jogging, He works very hard indeed, every minute of every 24 hours. No sleep, no food, just plain work. But the work is a joy, of course. It's not, he has a capacity for joy, which, if we had it, we would enjoy our lives so much better than we do. He is one of that group of masters who are returning now to the everyday world. For centuries, no, for thousands of years, for 100,000 years nearly, the masters have lived in the remote mountain and desert areas of the world, like the Himalaya, the Andes, the Rockies, the Carpathians, the Urals, the Gobi Desert, and various other deserts. From there, they have beneficently overseen the evolution of the earth. They make up the spiritual or esoteric hierarchy of this planet, and they have worked almost exclusively through their disciples, men and women in the world. Give me the name of any man or woman who has significantly affected our civilization, our culture, down through the ages, and you will have given me the name of an initiated disciple of one or other of the masters. People like Plato, Aristotle, like Shakespeare, Leonardo, Michelangelo, Mozart, Beethoven, Bach, you name it, the great philosophers, the great theological people like Luther and other great religious thinkers, the people like Einstein, scientists of all kinds, These are disciples, if they are of a certain evolution, certain degree, disciples of the masters. And through them, the masters have worked. Some of the great world leaders, political leaders, have been conscious workers for the spiritual hierarchy, knowing who they were, working, knowing the masters, working for the masters. In this way, the masters know the world better than anybody knows the world. And we're living in the world, and yet any master knows far more about the nature of life on earth, even though he is somewhat distant from it. He may be living in the Himalaya and the Andes and so on. There's a group of masters who elected to live more openly in southern India for the most part, and that southern Indian lodge is better known, and the sequence of masters who have lived there more openly. But the Trans-Himalayan Lodge and other parts of the world in the Andes and so on have been, as I say, practically unknown. I don't need to tell you, I think, that we are beginning a new age. We're just at the beginning of the Aquarian age. This is the result of the movement of our solar system around the heavens in relation to the constellations of the zodiac. Our sun, with its system, makes such a journey, which takes approximately 25 to 26,000 years to complete. And so, again, approximately, it varies from cycle to cycle, approximately every 2,150 years, our sun comes into an alignment with each of the constellations in turn. And when we are in that alignment, we say we are in the age of whatever is the age, the name of the constellation. For the last 2,150 years, we were in that alignment with the constellation Pisces. And the role of Jesus, or rather of the Christ through Jesus, was to inaugurate the age of Pisces. The early Christians knew without any doubt, those around Jesus, his disciples knew that that was their role. Pisces, the symbol for Pisces is a fish, usually two fishes swimming in opposite directions, and that fish symbol dominates the whole of the gospel story. At the end of the gospel story is a very tiny, apparently insignificant little vignette, which is most interesting. Just before the end of Jesus' life, he sent the disciples into the town of Jerusalem and told them that there they would find a man carrying a pitcher of water on his shoulders. They were to follow the man and go to a house where he would go and prepare the feast of the Passover on the top floor of the house, which of course they did. In that apparently insignificant little vignette, the Christ in Jesus foreshadowed his future role as the teacher, the avatar, as they call him in the East, for the age of Aquarius. The man with a pitcher of water, of course, is the age-old symbol for Aquarius.